I put together a parlay with total odds of 5.7. Let's break it down. First pick, Denmark versus Congo. And here I found a very interesting bet, because many people see the wolf friendly and automatically expect a relaxed game with little motivation. Personally, I think this match means much more to Denmark than it might seem at first glance. After all, the Danes failed to achieve their biggest goal of recent years and missed out on qualification for the World Cup. For a nation that regularly appeared in major tournaments, including the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, this is a huge disappointment. Because of that, every match now becomes an opportunity to show their supporters that this team is still competitive and capable of challenging strong opponents, especially after the painful playoff defeat against the Czech Republic. What stood out in that match was the character Denmark showed. They came back twice during the game and only lost in penalty shootout. In other words, the team did not collapse mentally. Instead, they showed a willingness to fight until the very end. And if you look at the squad, Denmark still has plenty of quality. Rasmus Højlund remains the key figure in attack after an excellent season and is one of the most dangerous players in this national team. Andreas Christensen has also returned, adding experience and stability to the backline. Overall, the level of talent throughout the Danish squad is significantly higher than what their current opponent can offer, especially in midfield and attack, where the difference in individual quality is very noticeable. Guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post match analysis every day and always try to help my subscribers stay profitable. I'm also always open to constructive criticism and your own betting opinions in the comments. I read every single one. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. Now let's look at Congo. Their qualification for the World Cup absolutely deserves respect. The team will appear at the tournament for the first time in decades, and that alone is a tremendous achievement. However, if we focus on the level of opposition they have faced recently, it becomes clear that they have had very little experience against European teams on Denmark's caliber. In fact, they have barely played strong European opponents at all over the last few years. Yeah, Congo has produced some impressive defensive numbers, kept several clean sheets, and achieved good results in qualification. But most of those successes came against teams operating at completely different level. Is it also worth considering the preparation issues surrounding the squad? The uncertainty regarding World Cup participation, schedule changes, and organizational distractions certainly do not help a team prepared perfectly for the matches like that. They are currently training in Belgium and continuing their World Cup preparations, which means experimentation with formations and lineups is highly likely. Denmark, on the other hand, can approach this game with full seriousness. For them, it is a chance to respond positively after failing to qualify. What especially catches my eye and Denmark's attacking numbers. They have scored at least 2 goals in 7 consecutive matches. That is an impressive streak and shows that this team remains confident in attack regardless of the opposition. Meanwhile, Congo may have several clean sheets recently, but they have not faced many genuinely powerful attacking teams during that run. Comparing their statistics directly would be misleading. For me, the difference in quality and players' level is the key factor. Denmark can dominate possession, create chances through the wings, and consistently pressure the opposition defense. Combined with the motivation following the World Cup qualification failure, I don't expect a relaxed performance. Quite the opposite. I expect the host to play serious football and push for a convincing result. That's why for the parlay, I'm comfortably taking over 2 goals. There are plenty of reasons to expect a productive match, especially from Denmark. And if we are talking about a bigger odds option, for the crazy parlay, I like Denmark team total over 2 goals at odds of 2.5. Guys, for the parlay, I don't want to use my main bankroll, because accumulators are always risked. That's why I usually use welcome bonuses from my partners. I signed up, made a minimum deposit, and received 5 bonus activations. Basically, I place 1 high odds parlay with each bonus. If the bet wins, the bonus gets multiplied by those juicy odds and becomes part of my main bankroll, which I can then withdraw. And if it loses, I'm not risking money from my main bankroll, which is always nice. The partner is official and reliable. I love the bonus link and all conditions in the pinned message on my Telegram channel. The promotion is still active, so it's worth taking advantage of. Let's move on. Second pick, Netherlands versus Algeria, and here I found another very interesting bet because at first glance it seems like straightforward situation. One of Europe's strongest national teams is playing at home against an African side and should comfortably win the match. But if you dig a little deeper, it becomes clear that Algeria are far from a team that can be underestimated right now. That's exactly why I prefer looking at goals rather than trying to predict the outright result. Let's start with Netherlands. For Roland Koeman's side, this match is part of the final preparation phase before the World Cup, and there is not much time left to experimentation. At the same time, it would be inaccurate to say that recent performances have been perfect. Yes, the unbeaten streak looks impressive, but there are still questions about the overall level of play. The victory over Norway came against a team without Erling Haaland, while the match against Ecuador ended 1-1, with the Dutch managing only 2 shots on target. Even allowing for the early red card in that game, more is always expected from a team of this quality. That said, the talent level remains extraordinary. Memphis Depay is still the all-time leading scorer in Dutch national team history. Alongside him are playing like Gakpo, Malen, Regenders, Gravenberch and Frankie de Jong. These are footballers capable of creating chances out of nothing. It is also important that Koeman has already stated that Depay will receive significant playing time ahead of the World Cup. When Memphis is in good form, the Dutch attack becomes much more dangerous. However, despite all the quality, there are issues that cannot be ignored. The absence of Xavi Simons is significant because he often provides creativity between the lines. In addition, when facing well-organized opponents, the Netherlands have not always looked convincing. They failed to beat Poland twice, struggled against Ecuador, and in several matches created far fewer chances than supporters are used to see. Now let's talk about Algeria. Many automatically view them as a clear underdog, but in reality this team is in a very good place right now. Over a long period, they have suffered only 2 defeats in normal time. Yes, their qualification group was not the toughest, but even in the Africa Cup of Nations, they looked organized and disciplined. Their defeat against Nigeria was one of the very few matches where the difference in quality was truly obvious. One particularly interesting development has been Petkovic's switch at the 3 center-back system against stronger opponents. That approach helped Algeria earn a 0-0 draw against Uruguay, while allowing almost nothing in defense. We could easily see something similar against the Netherlands. At the same time, the visitors do have attacking quality. Mahrez remains the leader of the team, Gore enjoyed a strong season in France, Amoura offers space, and the wide areas remain dangerous. Statistics also show that Algeria occasionally finds scoring opportunities, even against top-level opposition. Meanwhile, the Dutch defense is not exactly impenetrable. Their last 6 matches against FIFA top 40 nations have all seen both teams score. That is a very revealing trend. So the picture becomes quite interesting. On one side, the Netherlands at home should dominate possession and create chances. It is their final home match before the World Cup. They have a strong lineup and they will want to entertain the fans. On the other side, Algeria are organized enough not to collapse from the opening whistle and possess players capable of exploiting the space that will inevitably appear behind the Dutch defensive line. That is why goal seems like the most logical angle to me. I can absolutely see the Netherlands winning, but I also believe Algeria will have opportunities of their own. Therefore, for the parlay, I'm comfortably taking over 2 goals. Both teams have quality in attack, and the friendly match status often leads to a more open style of football. And if we are talking about a riskier option, for the crazy parlay I like double chance Netherlands, plus both teams to score at odds of 2.3.